Hey there guys, and welcome back to Tech Easily. So it's the start of a brand new series here on my channel, and I'm going to be teaching you guys all about Angular. So if you guys have been following along with my videos, you already know that I've been teaching about HTML and CSS. And if you want to get into a framework, then Angular is perfect for you guys. So some of the things that I will be covering in this video will be talking to you guys all about Angular. So what Angular actually is, what it can be used for, the history of Angular, the pros and cons, and what code editors actually support or allow you to code in Angular as well. So if you guys are interested in learning all about Angular, then please keep on watching. So like always, you guys, I've made a little presentation to explain to you guys all about Angular. So basically, let's just look into the history first. It was actually developed in 2010 by developers in Google, and the first version of Angular is actually known as AngularJS. And then the second version was actually released in 2015, and any version that's above the first one is referred to as Angular. So if you guys were ever confused between the two, between AngularJS and Angular, then there's the difference. Version 2 or higher is known as Angular. And there's actually a really big difference between AngularJS and Angular as well. But for the basics and for this video, let's just leave it at that. Now you guys, let's actually look into what Angular is. So basically, Angular is a front-end TypeScript open source web application framework. So you guys, I know that's a lot to take in, but let me break this down for you guys. So front-end, what does that mean? Front-end basically means client-side development. So languages you would use for front-end development would include HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc. So if you guys are not familiar with what TypeScript is, it's actually a superset of JavaScript. So basically, TypeScript compiles to JavaScript, but it removes the common mistakes that are made, that we make when we're coding it. So it's actually better in many aspects. And lastly, it's open source, so it means that anyone can use it and modify it to their liking. Also, you guys, some other front-end frameworks that are used include React and also Vue. So this is a little bit about Angular. We're not going to go really deep into this stuff, just to give you a basic understanding of what it is and a little breakdown of it. Now let's move on to what code editors you can actually use to code in Angular. So you guys, when it comes to writing code, many popular editors actually support Angular, and these include Visual Studio Code, and this is probably the most commonly used one. This is the one that I use to write code in Angular as well. You can also use Sublime Text and WebStorm, etc. So if you guys are confused in whether or not you should use Angular or you shouldn't, I'm going to walk you through some advantages and also disadvantages so you guys can make up your mind. So Angular, pros. Since the architecture is actually component based, this results in a higher quality of code being produced. So basically, in Angular, every UI element you guys have, it's actually a component. And components have some great advantages. For example, they are reusable. And this is actually a great advantage when it comes to scaling your website or your projects. So that's a great advantage. Another one is that it's built in TypeScript, like I told you guys before. So this basically means that the code you will be producing in the end is a lot cleaner. And again, it allows for scalability as well. And then the last advantage I have here is that you can get high performance by using Angular. So these were some of the advantages. Now I'm going to look into disadvantages of using Angular. So you guys, some of the cons of using Angular. Angular is actually complicated. So although having components is an advantage, like I mentioned in my previous slide, the way in which they are managed is actually really complex, especially if you're a beginner starting programming. It's hard to grasp the concept and what's going on, especially when you have to inject dependencies and declare interfaces and all that. It can get a little complicated. It's not as easy as some of the other frameworks that are out there, but then again, it does have advantages as well. Another con is that it has limited search engine optimization options, and the accessibility for the search engines to reach it is actually quite poor as well. So that's something that it definitely needs to be improved upon. So you guys, before I end this video, I'm quickly going to be talking you through when you can actually use Angular, or help you to decide whether or not you could. So if you're developing a PWA or a progressive web application, then you might consider using Angular. If you want to have a large-scale enterprise website, Angular is used for that as well. And especially if you have a dynamic content-based website, then choosing Angular would be something that is recommended as well. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I really hoped that it helped you to understand what Angular is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using Angular, when you can use it, what it is, and what coding editors actually support coding in Angular. So this is just the beginning of this series. I really hope you guys stay tuned, because Angular is actually really interesting, and the videos that are coming up on my channel can really help you guys if Angular is something that you're interested in. But for now, until we code again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on that notification bell, and give this video a big thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in my next video.